The other day, my friends, while looking for interesting products to review, I came across this. The design was the first thing that caught my attention. It's weird. Really weird. Seriously, folks, I've never seen an alcohol stove with a design like this. It is truly unique. The next thing that caught my attention is the name of the company that made this stove. You can read this one of two ways. Goout Spring Hill or Goout Spring Hill. Personally, I like Goout Spring Hill better than Goout, but for the sake of this episode, we'll call this the Goout Spring Hill The Force Alcohol Stove. That is what this episode is all about. My friends, welcome. My name is Luke. This is the Outdoor Gear Review. Thank you very much for tuning in. With the Goout stove, the Goout Spring Hill Alcohol Stove, I have not opened this up yet. And that's because I wanted you all to see what's inside of this box. I wanted to open this up together because this by itself is weird. Inside of the box, we have this storage case here for the stove. This has a very interesting feature to it that I will show you all in just a minute. We have some instructions, we have a velvet storage bag, and we also have a cleaning cloth like you would use for a camera lens or say like your eyeglasses. That's interesting. This here is interesting. Let me show you all why. On the lid here, I'm assuming that is the Goout monkey. And going over here, we have a plastic sealing ring that goes all the way around this. Very much like opening up some containers full of like liquid, sometimes like car wax or something like that. First off, to open this up, you don't unscrew it. You have to unseal it. So let's go ahead and do that now. With the sealing ring gone, we can go ahead and open this up. Holy crap. It's almost like that was under pressure. Whatever. Don't ask too many questions, you know what I mean? Talk about an interesting opening experience. This would make Flossie Carter happy, you know what I mean? Anyways, we have the alcohol stove. Yes, everyone, this is the alcohol stove. We have a flame extinguisher cap. It's not really a cap. And we also have a keychain. You may be wondering, where does the keychain ring go? That actually connects right here. And the company says that's so that you can attach this to your backpack as you're hiking. For myself, I don't plan to do that, so we'll put that away. With this stove here, it has some very unusual features as you're about to see. Up here at the top, check this out. These are the pot supports. On the inside, we have 3 gasifier pipes that provide a consistent level of heat output once they get hot. For the next trick, this stove has telescoping legs. And folks, that is how you set it up. How interesting is that? Going back to the top of the stove here, you can see the 3 gasifier pipes. That hole in the center, that is the fuel chamber, and it can hold 47 milliliters of fuel. Going around the body here, you can see some screws. Already, I can see that this tiny little screw over here is coming out. Actually, it looks like a few of them are. So once I get home, I'll have to get my toolkit out and tighten those up. I'll tell you what, everyone, let's go ahead, fill this up, and let's do a quick boil test. I shouldn't say quick, because alcohol stoves are not quick. Let's do a boil test. One problem that I'm having here is that I can't tell how much fuel I've actually put inside of this stove because of this metal cover over the top. So I'm just going to stop there. 2 cups of water. So what I'm going to do is light up the stove, await the gasification process to complete, then I'll put the water on and start the stopwatch. This, unfortunately, is going to be very hard for you all to see, as alcohol burns relatively clearly. I can feel quite a bit of heat coming off of the stove now, so let's go ahead and begin. When I said, folks, this is going to take a long time, I wasn't kidding. We are already 3 minutes in, and we're not even close to being done. That is a characteristic of an alcohol stove. for the most part. There are a few exceptions. It's all about the design of the stove. That's what makes the biggest difference as far as performance goes. With this test here, this is a real world test. It's a little bit breezy on and off today. This video and this test here will give you a good idea of real world performance with this stove. The Goout stove. The Goout monkey. When I opened that container, it was like popping the top off some Pringles or something. Like Pringles that were under pressure. Two cups of water was brought to a boil in 9 minutes and 44 seconds. I did have to stand in front of the stove to block the wind, and that's because there's basically no wind shielding at all with this stove. So without a doubt, if you decide to purchase this stove, you will have to get some sort of windscreen because there's virtually nothing here to block the breeze at all. One observation to make here is that the entire stove gets really, really hot when you're using this. We're talking about the legs, we're also talking about the bottom. This is so hot that you need to be careful with using this on the ground, on top of dry leaves and so on. It is a fire risk. At the same time, because of the materials, this takes a very long time to cool down. Your typical alcohol stove, such as a Trangia, an Espit, is going to perform even better than this. With the gasifier pipes, we only have 9 holes, whereas with your traditional alcohol stove, you have countless holes all the way around it, which are releasing flames, releasing heat. So we have a limited amount of holes here. The performance is just so-so. With the design of this, small to medium-sized pots and cups will work best. Anything large really isn't going to work that well. It's just too small, even though it can support 33 pounds, which is pretty funny. Originally, my plan was to continue testing this out, but after using it this one time, I'm going to send it back. There's really nothing special about this outside of the weird design. It's overly designed, overly complicated. The fact that the screws are coming out of this thing already, that says a lot, you know what I mean? The beauty to an alcohol stove is that it's simple, right? This is not simple. This is complicated. This is going to make your life difficult. It's weird, and I do like weird, but for a design to be unique, it has to be beneficial. This is not a step forward by any means, right? This, in my opinion, is a step backwards. With that being said, folks, let's go ahead and let's go over some stats real quick. This is made from a 304 stainless steel, a 204 stainless, and also copper. The weight of the stove is 9.8 ounces. The weight limit for this stove, according to the company, is 33 pounds. How do you get 33 pounds on top of this tiny stove? I have no idea, but that's what the company claims. The company also claims that the fuel capacity is 47 milliliters and it will run for 27 minutes with that much fuel inside of it. I doubt those claims, maybe in like the best of conditions ever, but I filled that up basically all the way up to that top plate and it ran for 15 minutes, something like that. So I don't know how much more fuel I would have to put inside of this to get a 27-minute burn time. As far as the price goes for this stove, you're looking at $36, which is quite expensive for an alcohol stove. The overall quality of this stove is good. It's not great. Most of the edges have been smoothed out, but some are a little bit sharp. And at the same time, some of the screws are coming out. So, you know, the problem with this stove is that it's over-engineered, right? They've made something so simple, very complicated. There's screws all over the place. 2, 4, 6, 12 up here. There's even more screws up here at the top. Yeah, this is an interesting product, but in my opinion, I've seen better alcohol designed stoves out there. This does nothing special besides a bunch of funky stuff with the top and the legs, the looks of it. Ultimately, folks, after just doing this one test, I really don't see a reason why to purchase this. The performance for this product is mid. Now it's your turn to sound off in the comments down below. What do you all think about this weird alcohol stove? This is without a doubt the weirdest alcohol stove I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this before, and I have used tons of them. This is the most overly complicated, overly engineered, overly thought out alcohol stove I've ever seen. It is truly weird. That's the best way to describe it. By the way, everyone, unless you have experience with alcohol stoves, I recommend that you check out my video called The Truth About Alcohol Stoves. I recommend that you check out that video so that you understand what those systems are, how they're meant to be used and not used. There's a time and a place for an alcohol stove. They're not perfect for all situations. Alcohol stoves have a very low heat output, and at the same time, they're fuel inefficient. The pros are that they're simple, lightweight, and they do perform well in cold conditions. Folks, I'm done. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Until next time, be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.